This episode is all about working smarter and not harder. So join me as we talk about how we are boosting our podcast SEO to drive more eyeballs with this very simple trick. Let's do it. Hey, welcome to the Christian Hustle Show. For the last 12 years, I've been doing SEO, helping brands grow with search marketing. I've helped anywhere from large brands to small brands to really drive organic traffic, grow their visibility online, and I've helped them generate millions of visits and millions in revenue as well. However, as a fellow content creator, it was an easy thing for me to adopt SEO, right? Because I do that for a living already. So it's a very easy transition. But if you're out there, you're creating your content, I really want to help you, be your guide, and show you how we're doing SEO for our podcast website and bringing you this guide, right? The guide on how we're doing it on our end to optimize, to really maximize our content, because I want you to let people find you online, not just on YouTube, but also on search engines. This could potentially add more sales if you're doing affiliate marketing or selling your own products. The more eyeballs, the more sales you're gonna get. And really just try to help you grow at the same time, both your YouTube and your visibility on search engines, probably more specifically Google. Now, I know that you're spending hours and hours creating your content because that's what we do too, right? So we get the pain, we love doing it, but we still spend hours and hours creating the content. And, maybe your podcast is going audio on the podcast host. Maybe you're posting it on YouTube as well. And hopefully you're also slicing it for social media channels. Now, wouldn't it be great if you can also leverage the #1 search engine out there, Google, to drive views to your episodes, to your content, to whatever you're creating? What if I tell you people are already searching for the things that you've already answered? So why not put it in front of them and get that visibility very easily with the trick that I'm about to show you? I'm gonna show you every single step along the way on the why, the what, and the how we do it. Now, for this to work, you actually need a website already up and running. So drop it in the comments. If you don't have one, I'm happy to create a guide on how to create a basic one. We always use WordPress, so I'm happy to help with that. But for the sake of this video, I am assuming you already have a website and you just really want to maximize it as part of your strategy. All right, well, this is how we do it. This channel specializes in SEO, specifically helping brands grow, right? So this is where this topic gets interesting because we're creating video guides on how to optimize for Google, how to optimize for SEO, sometimes for local businesses, sometimes for online. It varies, right? But we're already creating these videos, we're slicing them in short episodes for other platforms. But then we are transcribing the entire video and posting it on our website. This is gonna allow search engines to crawl the text and give us that visibility when people are searching on Google. Now, this sounds a lot more complicated than what it is. We're actually using AI tools to transcribe our entire videos. A simple Google search for video transcription can give you a ton of different tools. In our case, we're using Descript at the time of this recording. We've been using it for the last 6 months, but there's great companies like rev.com out there. I've used it years ago, back when we started the channel. That is a service provider, so obviously there's some cost involved. Descript has been doing a great job, very affordable, and really does a good job transcribing the entire video into text. At a high level, the idea is that once we have that text, we're gonna publish it on our website and embed your video, right? Embed your audio podcast player, your video YouTube player, whatever the content may be. We wanna embed that in the same article. Now, to be fair, the exact transcript, 100% copy paste it, is probably gonna be boring. It's not the same listening to your awesome voice on an audio or video versus reading it, right? That could be very boring. So I'm using ChatGPT and asking ChatGPT to please turn the transcript into an interactive, fun, and entertaining blog article that I can then polish and post on my website. Now, parenthesis here, sometimes I polish it, sometimes I just copy paste it from ChatGPT. Is not ChatGPT created, right? It's based on my transcript, so it's not 100% AI, and it's working so far, right? So I'll leave it up to you if you want to polish it at the end, or if you just want to do ChatGPT, have it do it for you. Now we want to embed that video or YouTube video or audio because that acts as a backlink to your show, right? To your episodes. So it's going to help us also index your YouTube video or your podcast, as it's acting as a backlink, it's acting as a share. So we definitely want to embed that on your article along with the text. All this together is going to let search engines crawl it faster and really give you that additional boost in visibility that you're looking for. Now, I know this sounds too easy to be true, so why don't we jump into the how and explain every single step along the way on how we do this. Now, as I said, you do need a website to be up and running for this tactic to work, right? We also need to be a little bit more strategic when it comes to keywords. That's the core of SEO. That's the core of search engines. Search engines work when people enter a keyword or a phrase looking for something, looking for answers, and we want to position your content to answer those queries, those questions. Now, you may use the same title on your video as the title of the blog post, but especially for your podcast, if you're doing a lot of virality titles that are not necessarily triggering keywords, I suggest we change it, right? Be more strategic on what keywords you want to show up for. Now, we have videos on keyword research. You can use free tools like when you go to Google, you scroll down and you look for people also ask, or the people also search for section on Google results. Those are going to be real questions and queries that people are asking. And if you already have content answering them, it's a no-brainer. Now, if budget allows and you're ready to hit it harder, you can use SEO software like SEMrush. We also have tutorials on SEMrush that we've created around keyword research, right? Because we want to be very strategic. We don't just want to bring in a copy of your content and paste it as is. We want to be more strategic for search engines, specifically for Google, to be able to love your content as much as your audience already does. Now, we want that new article for your blog post to have that keyword in the article. As you're formatting your article as a blog, as you see on the screen, you do want to have headers, right? You want to have subtitles. These are called headers, and there's different types of headers depending on how important that header is. So we have H1 is going to be your number one idea on the blog. Typically, your H1 is going to be the title of your blog article, which is when we want that keyword in that blog title. Then we have H2s. H2s are going to be your sub ideas that connect very directly with your H1. That means it's just a secondary idea, right? So that's how we're going to separate our content out. And then we have H3s. H3s are going to be sub ideas from your H2s. So it's a third level idea, third level heading that we want to use as subtitle to organize the article really, really nice so that search engines can come in and fully understand the flow of your content, the idea, and how your article is structured. Now, you'll want to really break out those paragraphs. Whether you're polishing the transcript yourself or you're having ChatGPT polish your transcript, search engines love short paragraphs. So keep those paragraphs short, between 2 to 4 sentences, because it's just more appealing to read, and search engines really enjoy seeing that as well. We'll definitely want to embed your podcast into this article, whether it's a YouTube video and or both. Bring in your podcast player episode as well. Now, remember, even though this is a replicate or a repurposing of your podcast episode, we need to treat it as a blog article for our website, as text content. For that reason, we need to add pictures. So let's say that if it's a video podcast and you're using screenshots on your video, bring those screenshots over to your article. If it's just an audio podcast, then let's go get some stock photography or screenshots depending on what your content's about. Or maybe you do have real pictures that you can use. The point here is try to use as many pictures as you can to make the text more appealing. And it gives us a lot of other opportunities for Google as well, because when you upload a picture, you can add what we call alt text, which means we add a keyword hidden behind the imagery. So it gives us another opportunity to add our keywords into the article in a very easy way. Some of the best practices when you're uploading these pictures is rename the file with your keywords in there before you upload it to your website. Like I said, you want to add alt text in your website builder, whether it's WordPress or Squarespace or whatever website you're using. They all will allow you to add alt text to that image so that Google knows what's in that picture. I highly suggest that you use bullet points. If you have any type of lists or steps or anything like that, I highly recommend that you use at least one bullet list or one number list as well. In my case, I've used 2 or 3 times throughout the article if I have multiple items. Like once I transcribe this video, I'm gonna have different set of lists, right? As I'm going through this video tutorial, I'm talking about best practices of this one item and this other item. So those are going to become lists on my transcript. Search engines love that because it's a very easy way to organize data. And when you publish your content, you're going to be way ahead of your competition in search just because of this bullet list or number lists. Now, once your blog is beautiful looking, you have everything in it ready to go, we'll want to add a meta title and meta description. This could be the same title as your blog article, or it can be a little bit more inviting for a click. These are going to be visible for the user when they find you on search engines. So think about it from that perspective. Make sure that you have a keyword in both the title and the description, and that it triggers that click. If people see it on search results, what is going to make them click on your link versus the other search results they found? Now, step number 5 is going to be we have to let search engines see our content. So there's going to be 2 ways of doing this. One, we're going to want to give Google and other search engines a map of your site, what we call sitemap. Let me know in the comments if you want me to put together a tutorial on how to do that, because once we do that, now we can even ping Google every time we publish a new article, give it to them directly in Search Console, and they're going to be able to crawl it and index it on Google search much faster. The last step I'm going to recommend is to track your keywords, because otherwise, if we're not tracking the keywords, how do you know if this thing is, or this tactic is even working? We want to track those keywords starting the same day when you publish your article. Trust me, it's awesome feeling when you see a number on your tracker appear. Every time I publish a blog or a transcript of the podcast, it's awesome to see that, hey, we started ranking already number 10, right? We're on the first page. I have examples where we started ranking number 1 almost 2 days later because of how well optimized the article was and how topical our website is. Which brings me to the last point that I want to make. How long is this all going to take? Depends on how authority your website is. We call that topical authority. And it just really how trusted is your website in the space. If it's a brand new website, you're probably going to take 6 months to rank these articles. But if you've had your website for a while, you have some articles already in content out there on this website. I mean, it could be anywhere from 2 days to a week or 2 weeks, right? It's just going to depend on competition, on your topical authority, and how well your blog is optimized. But if you follow this to a T and you start getting creative, you start really polishing these blog transcripts, you're going to get a lot of visibility from search engines, not just from Google, but also imagine search engine driving traffic to both your videos, your podcast player, and your text content. I mean, imagine what that can do, right? You expand, you add a new channel of distribution to your podcast, while you're making people find your content a lot easier. All right, well, I hope you found this guide helpful. If you did, give it a like. Please drop it in the comments if you want me to drop more tutorials and guides for content creators like you. I really enjoy putting these guides together, even though it's a lot of work. It's a lot of files, it's multi-camera, it's screen recording. I still love doing it. So if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Keep hustling.